How is Lamar Jackson changing the Baltimore Ravens offense? I'm here with Sam Monson to discuss the new look Ravens offense. Run heavy, and if we go back to what we said during the draft season, and we said here's what we would do with Lamar Jackson. We would run the ball a lot and let him be a designed runner. That's essentially what the Ravens are doing. There's a path to success using Lamar Jackson's skill set, which is excellent runner, inconsistent passer. What are your high-level thoughts on what the Ravens are doing so far?
That phrase you used there, I think, is the perfect phrase for it. It was the one we use around the draft time. There is a path to success at the NFL level for Lamar Jackson as a starting quarterback, and it's just not going to look like the same path for every other quarterback. He is a different kind of quarterback, and that's what we're seeing. This path to success so far has been crazy run heavy, really run heavy. Since he's been starting, the Baltimore Ravens have been the most run heavy offense in football, and it's worked. I mean, that's the important thing. They haven't just been running pointlessly with no success. They've been generating a huge amount of run success on the ground, and Lamar Jackson has been a focal point of that. They haven't just been loading up running backs. Lamar Jackson has been carrying the ball basically as much as anybody else. He himself has the 7th most carries on designed run plays of any player in the NFL since he's been starting. And if you add in the scrambles as well, the plays that he's taken off from a pocket and turned passing plays into running plays, only Zeke Elliott has carried the ball more than he has since he's been a starting quarterback. So that's like step one of this path to success.
Yeah, and let's just be very clear on this whole thing. You mentioned design runs and scrambles. Don't let anyone tell you that Lamar Jackson is dropping back and running around and then picking up first downs and looking to run. When it's a passing play, he's looking to pass.
Right.
The runs being designed, being a part of the play call. 102 of his carries are designed, and only 13 of them are called passes where he takes off. So this is a game planning type of thing. It's not him running around just trying to make plays. He is dangerous when he does that. He's averaging 7.6 yards per carry. But again, it's the designed running game and his ability to be that extra option that the defense has to account for. So when you have to account for the quarterback and the running back, this is what we see in college all the time. You have to account for both guys. It just changes the numbers advantage against the defense, and that's why you have guys like Gus Edwards having this incredible breakout that coincides with how the Ravens are using Lamar.
Right, so 6 players have carried the ball more than Lamar since he's been starting, and Gus Edwards is one of them. So 2 guys in the same backfield carrying the ball that much. That's how run heavy this team has been. And you're right, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have both been phenomenal on the ground, running rather than passing success so far in their rookie seasons. But they've done it via completely opposite ways. Lamar Jackson, it's been almost all on these design carries, and Josh Allen, it's been almost all as scrambles, very little as a designed part of the rushing offense. So they are completely different types of quarterbacks. And Lamar Jackson, that's why he was such an intriguing prospect, because he does want to be a pocket passer. When you ask him to drop back and pass, he isn't going to take off that often. He will stay in the pocket, he'll work through his progression, he'll find his receivers. The problem is he won't always hit those receivers. He is an inherently inaccurate quarterback the same way that Josh Allen is, and that has been borne out as well. As successful as he's been on the ground, he has an adjusted completion percentage this year of 68.1, which is better than only Josh Allen. It's the lowest of every quarterback in the NFL outside of Josh Allen. And that is your great problem with Lamar Jackson, is can he be accurate enough as a passer to still be effective doing this long term?
And this is what mitigates some of the accuracy issues, because Lamar Jackson does have the high-end passing plays. We've seen him, like you said, go through his progressions, find that next read. You could pull out his 10 best throws, and you're like, wow, those are NFL-type things, progressions and accuracy and getting the ball down the field. It's the throw-for-throw stuff. It's when you do have an open guy, maybe it's on the back hip instead of the front, and it's missing open receivers, and he still misses a ton. That's the adjusted completion percentage being one of the worst in the NFL. But if you're picking up quality yards on the ground, not only is that valuable in itself, but it's opening up the play action pass, and it's opening up just more open throws. And this is exactly how Lamar Jackson was successful at Louisville. He wasn't a pinpoint passer who was just going to go up the field, on a 12-play drive, 10 of which are passes. There's a lot of open receivers when you have to have 8 men in the box accounting for 2 viable runners. So congrats to the Ravens for doing this the right way. Now, they've run through this stretch of some tough run defenses, or easy run defenses to go up against. But I think the formula is the right one if you have Lamar at the helm.
Right, but the big question is how sustainable is it long term?
Right.
Because we've seen this in the past, that teams that are forced to build around a quarterback and do something different on offense to turn this guy into a viable starter, it's had success immediately because it takes NFL defenses a little while to figure out exactly how to defend it. It's not what they're used to seeing. It takes a little adjustment period for them to understand how to attack those players. And then once they do, it starts to become less effective. And we've seen that multiple times in the past. It's happening right now for the Ravens. They're having success because every team they run into does not quite understand how to attack Lamar Jackson yet. The question is going to be not so much this year, I think it's going to be 2019, is can they sustain this long term, or does Lamar Jackson need to develop more as a passer for this to be successful long term?
And if it works, here's what it does. Yesterday, in the game against the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Ravens had 44 carries of their own. The Bucks ran 45 total offensive plays, run and pass. So when it does work, you've got your running game, you're staying on the field. We saw that against Kansas City a few weeks ago. You have those long sustained drives. It does shorten the game a little bit. Baltimore has one of those defenses that's in the top 10 range, right? That any given week they could be pretty good, and they're one of the better defenses in the league. This makes Baltimore dangerous down the stretch. Even though you look at Lamar's PFF grade and he's missing all these throws, what it's doing for the entire offense and the whole team is going to keep the Ravens in pretty much every single game. So that's what's happening with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The running attack combined with the defense, whole different formula for trying to win games here in the NFL in 2018.